Alright, well, here I am again with another RV repair video. Last time I did the roof, you guys saw that. This time, I'm having water problems. So with this RV, it actually has two inputs for water. There's the gravity-fed water, and then this is actually pressurized city water. So when we're at an RV park like this, we can connect it to the water supply, and the pressure from that water supply pressurizes the system and lets water come out of our sink and shower and all that stuff. When we're dry camping or boondocking, we have to use the gravity fed. This goes into a tank under the rig. Then we have a water pump inside that is run off the RV batteries, and that water pump is what pressurizes the system. Well, this is all connected. So what I've experienced in the problem is that when I'm on the tank dry camping, and the water pump pressurizes the system, there's a little check valve in this city connection that's supposed to keep water from coming out because it's all connected to the same system. Well, that check valve has failed, I think, and that's what I'm going to try and fix today. The result of that is that water slowly leaks out of here when I'm dry camping, which wastes precious water, which I cannot afford to do because I have a 32 or 37 gallon tank, and it takes us about 3 days to run out of water, which is bad. It's probably not a huge waste, but it needs to be fixed anyway, so I'm going to try and fix it, and I'm going to make a video about it. All right, we'll see in a little bit. All right, so the first step is going to be to disconnect, obviously. I'm also going to, you can see where it's kind of old and cracked. I'm going to remove these 3 screws, pull this thing out, replace it with the new one I have, which I just got today. And hopefully these are all the tools I'll need, because really those are all the tools I have. So here's what I got. Took those 3 screws out, 1, 2, 3. And if I pull this out a little bit, you can see there's my actual plumbing. It's got a little hand tighten fitting here, and then a male end on this. Now inside this device is the actual check valve that I think's gone bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up, and I'm going to get new tape from my neighbor over here, because I don't have any. I should have bought some, but I didn't. Retape this, unscrew this with my hand, screw the new one on, tape it, screw it in. The holes are going to match. It's going to be no problem. Alright, so I got the old valve off. See this here. So this is the old valve, this is the new valve. Now, the old valve had this on it here, and it still seems pretty good, and I'm wondering if I should move it over to here. Fits. It's going to go, and it's going to connect here. Now, I'm a little worried because this looks like a little bit of water damage, but it's not crazy. Insulation here, insulation's wet, so I'm wondering if maybe this wasn't very tight, but I didn't see this leaking, so I don't know if it was because of the when I released the pressure. But so now what do I got to do is I've got to take off all this stuff all around it, make this nice and clean, so that I could put new tape on. Comes out pretty easy, shouldn't be too bad. And then just a matter of boom, boom. That's the check valve. This is the little valve that's failed on the old one. Keeps water from leaking out. So hopefully we can get it replaced easy. Alright, so I'm the type of person who likes to be pretty meticulous about getting this stuff off. I feel like it's going to give me less trouble down the road if I can get it really clean. Kind of like what I did with the of getting it nice and clean. So I'm going to work on that. Okay, well, I think I've got it pretty clean and smooth. It looks like hell, but it's an 06. I'm a little worried that there was some water in here and down in this insulation. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm thinking it was because of when I took this valve off, it was still pressurized. So now I'm going to screw this one on, and before I seal it up with the tape and the screws and everything, I'm going to try a test to make sure there's no leaks. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so first I'm going to try it with this piece that I said came off of the old one. You know what? I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to leave this off because that's how it came. And we'll see what goes from there. I'm going to put in the little rubber grates. And then I'm going to screw this into here. It's screwing on, so far so good. Nice and tight, but not too tight. It is plastic. But I don't want any leaks. Okay. So, take a look. So you can see, I've screwed this here, into here. Hose goes into here. I think we're ready to see what happens. If you don't know, this is a pressure regulator. It's already preset. You can't change the setting on it. So it just has to be in line with the water supply before it gets to here, because these pipes in here are like pressure rated for, I think, 50 or 60 psi. And sometimes the water supply around is higher than that. You want to blow something out in your trailer, there's water all over the place. Water pressure here is pretty low, actually. I'm not sure why, but I'm still putting it on. It's a good habit. All right. So everything is hooked up. Okay, what do you guys think? I'll turn the water on now. Well, here goes nothing. Water's moving. Let's go see if we have a leak. We do have a bit of a leak, so that's good. It's good that we saw this here and not before when we got this all locked up. So let me address that. Okay, so the question is how am I going to address it? I think what I'm going to do is disconnect again, and I'm going to put that piece that you saw there. I think I'm going to put this in because this might fix the problem, because I think that's where the leak's coming from. So let's do that. Now, I'm going to put this on here. Make sure I get a nice seat. And then take two. Nice and tight. But not too tight. Alright, let's see. This plastic piece has got like ridges on it, like I could use a wrench to kind of stabilize this, but I don't like doing that on plastic. Alright, let's try again. Here we go. Okay, got water. See any leaks? Let's go take a quick look. I don't see any leaks. All right, I'm gonna ramp this pressure up a little bit here. Okay, right back to the pressure. Although I don't know what that means with this water pressure at this campground, but the hose is taut, and so far I've got no leaks. So we might be good. Ooh, now I'm going to test the actual check valve. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this water off again at the spigot. I'm going to disconnect this. Then I'm going to turn the water pump on and pressurize it with this water that's in the tank and see if I get water dripping back out of here. So let's try that. I'll be right back. All right, so I went in and first of all turned the water off, disconnected the water from here, the actual hose, and then I went in and turned the water pump on. Now the water pump turns on to pressurize the system so that I can get water out of my faucets and shower and toilet. So I'm back out here now looking for drips. Let me turn you around. I'm looking for drips to come out of here, because what that would tell me is that water is pressurized in this and throughout all the plumbing in the rig. That means there's 50 or 60 psi in here. This has a valve in it to keep water from coming back out, right, when I'm not connected to city water. Now, before, with the old one, I would get water dripped out, and you can see the water damage here. It would just drip out slowly, cause a puddle on the ground, and waste my fresh water. I don't see that now. So I think this is a success. The next challenge is to use this ugly tape, butyl tape or putty tape. I don't even know if it's the same thing, but maybe not. You get a nice seal. Anytime you break the outside of these things, you want to seal it around here, and probably in here, there's like a little lip in here. Push it in nice and tight, and then secure it with these screws that hopefully match up to the old holes, so I don't have to make new holes. Looks like it probably will if I turn it, which shouldn't be an issue, but I guess we'll find out soon enough, huh? Now, I've never used this stuff, so you and I are going to learn how to use this stuff together. My neighbor, traveling partner, had a bunch of this stuff. This is the old stuff that I took off the side. I'm thinking it's the same thing, and I think what I'm going to do is take it off of this tape. Oh yeah, this is the same stuff. Take it off this tape and just basically like create like a bead around the inside of the valve, and then when I press it, I hope it comes out and kind of like spreads out, and then I'll smooth it around the edges to kind of create a seal. So yeah, we'll kind of see how it goes. Right, so let's see. This looks a little cleaner. Take this off and almost use it as a modeling clay. Oops, trash. And create kind of like a, let's see what I'm doing here, like a bead. And I'm going to put this around the edge here. So I can't hold the camera and do it at the same time as a two-hand thing, so I will be back. All right, so I'm back. Okay, so you can kind of see what I did here. All around the inside there, I put what I think is a nice bead of the tape all around. And what I want to do is put a little more on top so I can get a nice good seal, since when it rains, that's where the water's coming from, to make sure I get this nice and sealed up. So I'm going to go around and put just a little more in spots that I think I might need it, and then we can screw it into the rig. Okay, well, here's the last step. Moment of truth. I need to get these screws back in. It looks like the holes match up pretty good. So I'm going to hopefully get this thing finished here. But again, you don't want to go crazy tight on these screws because they're going into some plywood, and you don't need to get crazy. So don't get crazy. So what I want for this butyl tape to also do is kind of go into the screw holes, because that helps seal it up too. What I'm also going to do is kind of tighten these as tight as I can. Not as tight as I can, but as tight as I think that is reasonable for them to go. Then I'm going to let that tape kind of flatten out a bit. And then come back and tighten it a little later too, just so I get a good seal. So it's kind of sucking out here. That's what I want. It's good. Okay, so I'm going to come back maybe in a couple hours and see if this is flattened out at all. See what happens. Hi, it's the next day. I said I was going to come back in a couple of hours to check on that seal and tighten up the screws and clean it up a bit. Problem is right after I shot that last video yesterday, I grabbed a beer, went to the pool. So here we are. Had a great time last night, great dinner, great friends, great pool. So I'm going to now go out and take a look, and I've been hooked up to city water all night. Everything's been good, pressure's been good. I don't see any leaks out there, but let's go take a look and we'll see how we did. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of cruise around here. Let's see, and you can see there is no evidence of water or leaks or anything. And now that it's a little warm out, you can see the tape has kind of squeezed out of here, which is good. So I'm gonna trim all this stuff off and clean up the edges, tighten these down a little bit more just to see if they will, and then we'll call it done. All right, so I'm going to use a butter knife. First, I'm going to suck these screws down a little bit more since it's warm. Then I'm going to use a butter knife to trim the edges. And then at some point, I am also going to caulk around the outside of this thing just to really seal it up. So let's do that. All right, so here is the finished product. And yeah, it looks really nice. It's kind of matched the contour of the side here. Okay. Well, I think that was a success. I have never done that before, so now you and I have done it together. I think I watched a YouTube video on it once, and then just kind of talking to people at the RV shop, seeing what I need, getting their advice, and then just using kind of common sense. So there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video.